So in the last video I showed you how to take user input and how to use that for your program. In this video I want to show you how to use an if-else statement, which can also be used as an expression in Kotlin. And these are control flow statements. But let's get started immediately by creating our first if-else statement. And the first thing we have to do actually is create a number, which is going to be a random number between -10 and 10. And we just have to use the method random after that, and that will generate a random number between -10 and 10 inclusive. And we're just going to write print line random number equals, and we have to interpolate that, of course, equals number, so we know what number it generated. Then we can create our first if statement, and we're going to use it as an expression because in Kotlin you can use if as an expression, which is really great. So we're going to write value result equals if number is more than 0, we are going to return the string positive number. Else, if the number is equal to 0, we're going to return the string number is 0. And finally, it requires an else statement in case none of these two are true. We write if it's not positive and it's not equal to 0, then it must equal a negative number. So we're going to write negative number. So this checks whatever number we generated here, and if it is more than 0, it's going to return the string of positive number and it's going to assign it to result. And it's going to do the same thing for the other two. If it's equal to 0, this turns into number 0, and if it's neither of the two above, it's going to turn this result value into the string negative number. But let's print line the result. So we're going to do print line result equals interpolated result. Then we can just go ahead and click on play. So as you can see there, the random number generated was 8, so the result was a positive number. And we can also make this simple by not making it random and adding a -10. Then it will tell you it is a negative number. And finally, if the number is 0, a 0 number, or number is 0. And that is the first basic use of an if and else statement. And up next, I'm going to show you how to create an if-else expression that also executes multiple lines of code. And let's get started immediately by creating two values. One's going to be value A, which is going to equal 1. And the second one's going to be value B, which is going to equal 12. Now we're going to create val largest number. And that's going to be an if statement of if A is more than B. We're going to create this block and we're going to write print line A is larger than B. And right below, we're going to return the value of A. So the final value that you return at the bottom of an if statement is going to be the one that gets assigned to the largest number. And then we're going to write an else block because it requires it here. And we're going to write print line B is larger than A. And right under, we are going to assign B as the largest number. Then at the bottom, we can just write print line and do largest number equals, and we're going to type in the largest number. When we click on run, you'll see that the largest number is 12, and it will also execute that B is a larger number. So everything inside these blocks, you can write as many statements or expressions as you want, and it will execute all of them, and it will return the final value and assign it to the value you created up here. Also keep in mind that it is possible to use if as a statement by itself. You do not need to assign it to anything, but of course, let me show you that if we have value A again as 2 and value B as 3, we can write if A is less than B, which is always going to be true. We can write print line hello. So it's not required to use if as an expression. You can use it as a statement if you want. And if we run this beautiful program, you will see that the program says hello because 2 is less than 3, and that is logic for you. And finally, there's one more concept to discuss, and this one's called nested if-else statements. So it is possible to nest an if-else statement, and what does that mean? Now let's pretend we want to compare three numbers. So we're going to do value number 1 equals 1, value number 2 equals 100, and value number 3 equals 666. Well, now we can write a new if expression. So we're going to write value max equals if n1 is more than n2. We will write another if statement inside, and it will be if n1 is more than n3. It will return n1 as the biggest number, else it is going to return n3. And since this is a nested if statement, we still have one more to go for, so we can do else if n2 is more than n3, we will return n2, else we will return n3. So let me explain this real quick. Right here we check if n1 is more than n2. If n1 is less than n2, it will skip this altogether and it will check if n2 is more than n3 and it will print one of the two results. This is how you use a nested if-else statement, and if we print the results, you'll see that 666 should be the max number. So we're going to do max number equals max. And we will click on play. And here, as you can see, max number is 666. And if we change this to 20, we will have 100 as the output. Perfect. And there's one thing that I forgot to mention, that is, if you want to simplify a very basic if-else expression, you can actually turn that into something that was similar to the ternary operator in Java. And let me just show you what I mean by that. So we're going to write value A equals 12 and value B equals 15. So here we can write value max equals, if A is more than B, we can just return A, else we return B. And that's a simple way to simplify an if-else expression. But keep in mind that this only works if you have a single statement on each end. And now if we print line, we'll just type in max this time because I can't be bothered to write all of that text. You'll see that the max number that it will output is 15. And that's all I wanted to show you regarding if-else statements. And if this video was of use to you, please consider leaving a like. I will try to put out a few more videos every day. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.